more hot and sweaty, and the sky is getting really dark back there. Queensland's had quite a significant amount of rain, which I think probably most of the country has. I'm not sure, I'm not in most of the country, but it looks like it's going to rain some more. There was a time in my life not so long ago when I had some quite significant health issues, and I spent maybe 3 or 4 years in and out of clinics and doctor's surgeries and hospital and having drugs and things like that to try to make me well. But though it helped me in the short term, it didn't really fix the underlying issues that were causing my illness in the first place. And I became very demoralized by it and very stagnant, and it affected my physical ability to be able to do things. So I stopped exercising. I was quite a physical being. I would train for triathlons, I was running half marathons and marathons, and I was swimming kilometers and every day I was doing stuff like that, and I was a very physical person. So to be cut down at the knees, as it were, it was really hard to handle, and it really screwed with my mind, because it wasn't until I had to stop that I realized that I was using exercise as a reason not to address some of the other issues that were involved in my life from when I was a little kid, and the behaviors that I was displaying to the world in general. Not saying that, my childhood is an excuse or a reason to be an asshole, because it isn't. But at the time I didn't really know that, and I'm not sitting on my childhood as a reason to continue doing that or to excuse it or anything. But what I'm really trying to get at here is the physicalness of who we are, and we put so much emphasis on our physicality and how we present ourselves physically to other people. I don't want to keep saying that word physical, but it is all about physical, and whether we look good, and do we look good to others. And even though I didn't feel like I looked good to myself, I didn't really, other people didn't really notice that I had these issues with my self-confidence and things like that. But anyway, back to my illness. When the doctors said that I would probably need to have operations and things like that, I decided that something needed to change. So I went down the natural therapies road. Saying that there's anything wrong with traditional Western medicine, because there isn't. It just wasn't working for me, and there were other things that were causing the problems that I was having. So I went to kinesiologists and naturopaths and chiropractors and thea healers and people like that to try and find out the reasons for why I was as sick as I was. And as I was doing that, I sort of had to start focusing more on my spirituality and my emotional well-being than I actually did on my physical. The only thing that I could do with my physical self was to do the remedies and try to rebuild my immune system and try to rebuild my cell health, try to repair my gut from all the years of taking antibiotics. And that took a massive toll on my energy levels. So by the end of the day, I was too exhausted to do anything. But as I sort of progressed and got better, and that took a good part of 3 years to recover from that. So when I kind of was moving myself back into exercise, and the only thing that I really was doing was yoga, and I wasn't really doing that very well either, because I just had no energy in there. So I started, I thought, well, if I can get my physical well-being back, then I will do the physical thing, like I will exercise and do stuff like that because I love it, not because I want to look good for someone else. And every movement that I make, I will love it because I love to move, and that's what movement to me is all about now. I don't have any particular way of exercising. I'm not strict about it. Some days I'll swim, some days I'll do body weights. Most days I do some form of yoga, and I'll go to a class as well. I like that because it centers me and it calms down my nervous system. That's why I do it. Most of my exercise is done outside because I'm in nature. I mean, look at it. Honestly, it's still a bit of a city around, but it's a beautiful park, and you can hear the birds and stuff like that. So movement is now something that I do because I love to move, and because You have to move your body to push stagnation out. You have to move your body to improve oxygen flow into your cells. You have to move your body to increase the uptake into your lungs and into your heart and all of those sorts of things. You have to move your body because you need to flow. You're mostly water, and water needs to flow. And if we don't exercise, we stagnate. We seem to think that exercise is something that we should do so that we can look better physically for other people, but that's not what it should be about. The looking better physically will be because you enjoy the movement that you do, and because it makes this feel good. You know, it makes the trillions of little cellies that you have inside you feel good. And that's what movement should be about. It should be an affirmation for you about doing what your body needs to continue to flow. I don't know that I'm making any point here at all, or even making any sense, but it was really a big deal to not be able to do anything physical because my spiritual and my emotional and my mental health was causing me to be physically disabled. And that was quite a huge thing for me to learn. So if you are going to go out and exercise, I really encourage you to do it because you love it, to do things that you love, and to make it a normal part of your day. It's uncomfortable to start with. Even just walking around the block is uncomfortable to start with. But once you start it and you put the importance on you to feel good because it feels good to feel good, then taking that walk around the block one time a day is not such a huge thing, and it's not something that you can't do. Take a walk around the block, eat an apple. Take a walk around the block and eat an apple at the same time. You know, just really take a look at how you treat your body and what it is that you are doing, or how it is that you're deciding to increase that sense of well-being for you, not increasing a sense of well-being for others. So I'm going to do my 15 minutes of yoga because I finished my workout. I'm starting to cool down and I can feel a few droplets of rain. It's a bit of a longer video, but I do thank you if you've watched this to the end. Thanks.